Going on, everybody? It's your boy Gerald from Bank of Gerald here with another video update. Today is Thursday, October the 30th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited about what's going on in MoveQuest right now. We've got a few things to talk about, okay? We've got boosts that have just been added to the ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, which is a very exciting thing. For those of us that have been looking for more information on boosts, I got you today. We will be having, as MoveQuest will be having a seller's call. So for those of you that are out there that are interested in how to earn even more, for being on the front lines out here with us and helping people to see what MoveQuest is and get their docking slots unlocked and get them a part of our amazing community, there's going to be a call especially for you tonight. Of course, we have seen the price of MQT go up to as high as $13 plus, ladies and gentlemen. That's something worth clapping up for sure, ladies and gentlemen. But that happened in a what's the best way to say this? The algorithm that was developed that allowed supply and demand to be affected by the growth of the community. I think that is one of the most impressive things that have been added to the ecosystem. This ecosystem is not just going to continue to shell out a whole bunch of MQT and people are not submitting. All right. If you want to see more MQT go out, more people need to submit. And I think that is a great way to start to scale the community in the right direction. And it's already had almost an overnight effect on the price of MQT and where it stands as its value is pertained, as that's concerned. With that being said, I want to go ahead and roll into the fact that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, and I am not your financial advisor, all right? I am just a dude on YouTube showing you guys how I'm cranking it out in many different platforms and opportunities, nothing more and nothing less than that. Now, if you like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to be updated and notified about everything going on here at BOJ, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And please, sir, please, ma'am, don't get scammed by the WhatsApp, man, because if he gets you, nothing I can do to help you, all right? Stay diligent and vigilant in this space and in the comment section. The first thing I want to do is just to gloat a little bit. I want to just share with you guys the price of MQT right now is $13.81. I know a lot of us have got to be so happy to see that, especially those of us that had been mining with this this system and mining MQT with our proof of physical activity this whole time, right? We never stopped. We may have had a few days that we didn't hit the submit button, but we just kept staying at it as much as we could. And a lot of us are seeing the gains from that. There are some people that are just going in here and buying MQT straight off the exchange, right off the Sushi Swap. And that's cool too, all right? There's a lot of ways to be involved in the ecosystem and not having to just go ahead and straight up mine the MQT. You can buy it. You can straight up buy it and hold it if that's what you want to do. That is the beauty of the token. But this ecosystem rewards you more for doing the work, all right? So here's where I want to get into today. These boosts right here, all right? We see three boosts. We see the limit type of boost, and these are three types of boosts. I want to make sure that that's clear. We have a limit boost, we have a performance boost, and we have a rest boost. Now, while you guys are looking at that, there's one thing that I want to mention to you guys. These boosts are very cost effective. They do not cost very much at all. Like when I'm looking at the 100% boost, so let me just refresh this page so I'm making sure I'm looking at. So as you can see, nothing has been clicked. I have already purchased some boosts, so that's what that's showing me right here, okay? But for the boost price, let's just say we wanted to do 100% boost on the limits, okay? And I'll explain what these are in a second. It's 75 cents worth of MQT for that 1 day's worth of boost. 75 cents. All right. So say if I wanted to buy 10, right? 10 days worth, $7.50 worth of MQT. I think that's pretty amazing. So I'm gonna go back down, move this back down to 0 or 1 or whatever. Then we're gonna go to performance boost. These are 70%. Well, let me back up because all of these different limit boosts have different price. From what looks like 0.07 to the 10% boost, 25% boost is $0.18 worth of MQT, or 18 cents worth of MQT, 35 cents, 53 cents for the 75%, and so on and so forth, topping off at 75 cents. The performance boost starts at 10%, 35 cents, 20%, 53 cents, 30% boost is 0.7, which is 70 cents to me. All right. And then the rest boost is 70 cents per rest boost. All right. So any one of these boosts are pretty cost effective. All right. Now, one thing that I do not know is with those boosts that we received as gifts before, I don't know if they're going to be added here or applied here. But what I do want to say is, and there was only one that we were given as a gift, but it looked like it might be this performance boost. But either way, what we have here is an opportunity to increase some things. Now let's go into what they increase. I'm gonna stop the share real quick because on the website, it doesn't really give me the best depiction of what the actual boosts do, but on the application, I think that it does. All right. I think that the explanation of this on the application is a very good one. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna pull up the application on my phone as quickly as possible so you guys can see what's going on there. All right. So let me make sure I'm not disturbed by anything. I'm gonna go to MoveQuest. All right. So getting into here, right? As you see, well, hopefully you can see my, I guess it's taking a little while for this to load. Let me see if I can stop the share real quick and get it right back. All right. For those of you that don't like waiting, you just hit fast forward and we'll get to, you know, the actual, what we're trying to show as soon as possible. All right. So this is the this is the front of the page for the application, right? As you can see, Boost has been added. The MoveQuest customer support is still there. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you need help and in any way, jump into customer support. They are there to help you. All right. There's no other support for MoveQuest other than this customer support right here, and anybody that you may know in MoveQuest, like myself. You know, you might be able to get in contact with me and I help you out. But this is designated for the community. Okay. This boost section, let's click on that. All right. But before we click on that, what it says is boost, enhance your mining performance, amplify daily rewards and multipliers, and maximize your earnings today. All right. So let's go ahead and click on it. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is a scrolling little thing here. It says performance boost, limit boost, and rest boost. Okay. Those are the three types of boosts. As you can see right here, it tells me how many that I have. One thing that I want to start off mentioning, as we are working through the test phase of this, of adding the boost, right? We have experienced that adding the boost or buying the boost on the application right now, we're having some issues. They're working on that to fix that so that you can purchase the boost right here in your application. I'm not working quite yet, but if you go onto the DApp, if you go onto MetaMask browser, if you go onto Google Chrome, you should be able to purchase your boost right then and there. I think it's just a connectivity issue between the button here and what our actual MQT is in our wallet. Because as you can see, I got 37 MQT here, got plenty of MQT. And if I wanted to go ahead and purchase a limit boost in the application, all right, it should be pretty easy, right? Say if I just wanted one boost, it's 0.054 MQT. I've definitely got more than that. But what was showing up was this balance part, right? So they'll fix that. I'm sure we'll get an explanation for that. I just purchased my boost right on the DApp on my MetaMask. If I wanted to stay on my phone, I just open up my MetaMask browser, go to movequest.com, and I do it that way, all right? But to explain what these boosts do, okay, here we go. This is the tab that I'd like to see in the website, all right? Boosts are temporary power-ups that you can purchase with your in-app currency, which we know as MQT. When used, they apply to a specific day and remain active across all mining pools. So that means whether you're part of Bullish Moon, whether you're part of whatever the different mining pool is that you're participating in, if not just MoveQuest, you're getting it applied to all of them. All right. So each boost is consumed automatically after that day. Performance boost, okay? The performance boost increases all of your activity results by a set percentage, helping you earn more for the same effort. So let's just say you did 12,000 steps, right? You add a performance boost, it's going to add a 10%, 20%, or 30% boost, whichever one you've added, to what you've done already. So if you've got that 12,000 steps, you got a certain amount of sleep, then it adds a percentage or multiplies it by a certain percentage. Now, here's one thing that I want to add in there. If you didn't get a workout in, if you didn't get any steps, if you didn't get any sleep, it doesn't have anything to multiply, all right? So if you're seeing that you add your boost, but you didn't clock a workout in, it says 0, 0, 0 for your workout, it's gonna say 0, 0, 0 for your boost because it doesn't have anything to multiply it by. But if you did like 2 minutes worth of working out, it'll multiply it by that 2 minutes, if that makes sense, okay? Limit boost. Limit boost raises your daily activity cap, which is allowing you to go beyond the standard limit and keep earning. So for those of you overachievers, for those of you that remember in the ecosystem that it was 20,000 steps that we wanted to get to max out our steps, and now it's 12. For those of you that are still out there getting that 20,000 plus more steps, you have the ability to increase the limit for yourself and earn even more just for adding that limit boost. If you're one of those people that gets more than 10 or 6 miles in distance, so you get 10, it increases your limit, all right? It'll increase your limit by a certain percentage and allow you to max out at that limit, all right? Here is the rest boost. Now, this is designed for recovery days. This is usable once every 3 days. It generates reward shares based on your best performance from the last 3 active days. So say your best day was October the 27th, right? It's the 30th, right? But let's just say the 29th, you didn't do as well as the 28th. It's gonna pull your information from the best day that you had over the last 3 days. And it's gonna allow you to apply the best day to pretty much essentially your worst day, right? As a rest day, it's still allowing you to earn and do what you would have done on your most active day on the day that you were not as active. All right, so I hope that makes sense to everybody. These boosts are here. Like I said before, I suggest you buy them, purchase them right now, stock up on them in the DApp or on the website. Right here in the application is not working the way that we'd like to see it work, but it will be working the way we like to see it work fairly soon. But so that you're not stopped in any process of doing that, I'd say just go ahead and get them. All right, go ahead and get them. Now, here's what I want to share with you guys, okay? I want to share with you guys the boosts. Let me see, we were here. So I've already submitted for the day, right? But what these have allowed me to do, and I don't know that I'm able to pull them up now that I've already, now that I've already added the boost. As you can see up here at the top, I've already added the boost here, right? When I go to my history, it's going to show that the first day that I added the boost that I wanted to, the day, I max out usually about 32 million shares or whatever. That earns me about 0.58 MQT, right? 32.58 for both of those days that I had 32, right? For this day that I have 51, it hasn't all the way rounded out yet, but I'm probably going to earn more from that because of the boost that I added. And I'll be able to share with you guys a little bit more of how this looks on the next day that's applied. But what you should see, right, in your section right here, if you click on any of these that have not been submitted, let me see. I've submitted on Bullish Moon as well, so I won't quite be able to see this. Oh, did my mirroring go away? If I can bring it back. But what I was trying to say to you guys is I'll be able to better share with you guys when it's a day that I have not submitted. As you can see for both of these days, I'm in the 5,000 or the $5 million range for my shares, total shares on Bullish Moon. And I had not been that high in any of my Bullish Moon days that I have added. 32 million is, or 3.2 million is where I was capping out. These boosts are helping me to max out. They're helping me to get as much as I can for those days that I'm not getting, you know, a full thing of calories and steps and all that stuff. So these continue to help us stay engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Not everybody is going to be a triathlon athlete, nor does MoveQuest want you to be out there trying to expound on limits that you don't have, right? If you're not out, if you can't get out there and do 10 miles, you know what I'm saying? That's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do to walk 6 miles. This is incentivizing us to stay engaged, even if we cannot achieve some of the things that are here to achieve for us physically until we can. Because the goal is always to be able to work our way up to it. All right. That's the goal. MoveQuest is here to help us be healthier. It's help us to live a better physical, active lifestyle. But in turn, it's also rewarding us in this amazing token that continues to raise in value. I think it's just an amazing thing that we have our hands on right now, and they keep on adding things to make it even more amazing. Here's another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys. I want to go to the store section because that's where this is. Okay, so I want to be able to share with you guys where to find the actual MoveQuest section that I'm talking about right now, where the boosts are. So on the left-hand side, where you see the My Miners, Mining Dock, Hatcheries, all this great stuff, right? The store is where you get your boosts, okay? So you want to make sure that your MetaMask is linked or whatever it is that you are using. I use MetaMask primarily, almost exclusively with this. So I suggest MetaMask, and I suggest stocking up on as many of these as you can. It really doesn't cost you that much to get. Say if I wanted that 30% performance boost, and let's just say I want it for, let's just rock the boat here, 30 days, a month, right? I want to be able to add a 30% boost to every day that I mine for the next month. If I've got $21 worth of MQT, I can do that. I think that's amazing. I want to add 30 days of limit boost. So every day that I'm out here mining, I want to add to my limits. I can do that for $22.50 worth of MQT. For this rest, if I want 30 rests that I'm not going to be able to use all in a month, I can only use one rest per 3 days, right? So that's like 2 rest days a week. But if I want to stock up on 30 different rest boosts, I can do that for $21. Now, I think all over the world, no matter what your level of earning is, that these boosts are right in the wheelhouse of affordability, okay? So I just want to mention that. All right, here's another thing that I want to mention. Your hatcheries. This is a great addition that they've added. Now, I've got a few still in my incubator hatchery. What incubator hatcheries do, I think this is perfect for the new person, the person that's just getting involved, the person that may have just decided, hey, I'm going to go buy a bunch of MQT and get involved in the ecosystem, right? Of course, you need your avalanche, but this is going to give you some miners, okay? Now, I want to reiterate, you do not get your MQT back from this particular hatchery, okay? You will get vanguards, okay? These vanguards are essential to you having titans, okay? So if you want your docking slot filled with titans like I have, you need to have at least 2 vanguards for every 1 titan that you want. So if I know I need 18 titans to fill all my docking slots, then I need 18 times 2. I think that's 36 on my vanguards, right? So what that's going to cost is about, 36 vanguards, 364 MQT, 68 avalanche, and then of course you'll have to merge these together. So this may be what you decide to do. This may not be what you decide to do, but this is an option for you to be able to stack up on your miners, all right? We need these miners, all right? Not only for when we are mining personally, but when we have leasing come available, and we have a whole community of people all over the world that need our miners at many different levels. They're going to be able to lease them from us. So now's a great time to stockpile these miners, okay? They're not always going to be $175. These miners will be a lot more expensive throughout the years, okay? So, and that's where leasing will come in. That's where the fanning miners will come in. All these different ways for people to be involved in the ecosystem. It'll make a lot more sense then, all right? So one thing that they have added, okay, that I want to make sure that I talk about real quick, on the hatcheries, they have to where all your cards will show the total amount of MQT that you have in that specific hatchery and what your current reward is. So right now, I have my highest amount of days on my hatchery is one that I have 49 days left on. The timer ends on December the 17th. And I have submitted 140 times out of a total 175 times that I had the opportunity to over this 222-day span, right? But I will still get the reward for all the days that I did submit. So right now it's telling me that when all of these are done, the total deposit and all these total hatchery things are done, I'm going to get a reward. Right now it stands at 49, just south of 50 MQT. Now, if I keep on submitting every day before these days, it'll go up. If I don't submit another day in this card section right here, right? Of course, I won't earn any more than 49, but I will definitely, I think for these, I actually have the opportunity right then to migrate these to the golden, which is what I want to do. All right. Now, if you were involved in the incubator before this latest, the final iteration of the incubator, you get your MQT back. But I do believe that most of those contracts have ended already. All right. So just saying that, I think that was said on the call the other day. Most people that are getting their MQT back, they have already gotten it back from theirs. And these are, you know, the MQT reward on this one, 15, 8.4, 25, you know, all these different things are here. They add up to this total reward of 49 MQT that I'm going to be so happy to get back in total when all of these things are done. All right. But that's just the incubator. That's the one we've been in the longest. The nest. Okay. The nest or the incubator are the only way you're going to be able to get into the golden hatchery. Okay. I have added another one to my nest. Right. And I have 37 MQT that I can use right now to add to my nest. The only reason I haven't done that quite yet is because I wanted to purchase some boosts, right? And the MQT is used for the boost. But I've got my boosts now, and I've got a couple of these that are running on 9 days, just started them last night. One that's 4 days remaining that I've submitted every day on, all right? Different MQT deposits. This one I put in 100 just yesterday. This one I put in 195 just yesterday. So it's about, I have over $3,000 worth of MQT in my hatcheries right now, right? In the hatcheries right now, just the nest, okay? When they're done, I can roll them back in and renew them. I can claim them and the reward, or I can roll it into and migrate it into the golden hatchery, okay? The golden hatchery, and here's some information about the nest. This is the simplest way to get started, and we're getting 0.0003 MQT per staked MQT. So Lynette gave the example of 5,000 MQT that she had put in to the nest, right? And of course, she's planning on rolling it into the golden hatchery, but she didn't have any special perk. She's not getting any special accommodations just because she's the founder. She has to roll her MQT through the nest or the incubator to get into the golden hatchery, just like we do, all right? But with that being said, 5,000 MQT in there for 10 days, it's earning 15 MQT per day extra. Now, mind you, this is a almost $70,000 investment worth of MQT that's being put into the nest that you have total control over. I can decide to cancel this $2,625 MQT deposit right here, $195. I can cancel it right now and get it right back. Get it right back in my wallet. Now, what I do is forfeit my rewards that I would have earned on that MQT, but I can do that. All right. And one thing Waleed said Waleed is our lead developer. One thing that he said on the call the other day is this is one of the safest ways to help safeguard your MQT. Instead of leaving it in your wallet, you put it in one of the hatcheries. Okay. So say if your wallet gets hacked at some point, right? You know, we hope that doesn't happen. We hope you follow all the safety precautions, all the measures, but sometimes we make mistakes, right? Say it gets hacked, but you've got MQT in the hatchery. They can't just go and get this out of the hatchery. First of all, only you can get this out, right? But second of all, if your wallet gets hacked, they can't just take it out straight from MetaMask. But if it does get hacked, you're able to get in contact with support and give them the information to your new wallet, and they can help you get this moved over to your new wallet so you're not losing the MQT. All right, that's what support has the ability to do. Now, we hope we never have to get to that point here at BLJ. All right, we are going to take every safety precaution to make sure that we do not get hacked. But just in case, we know what we can do, and we know what these hatcheries can do for us. We can decide to use these hatcheries, even if it's just for security purposes, to store away our MQT. And on top of that, we're getting rewards for it. And then of course the golden hatchery. And another thing that I want to make sure is reiterated, these now have, for every one of these hatcheries, they now show you the total deposit of MQT in the hatchery and the current reward that you have earned so far from it. So it's just giving you a little bit of extra statistics to help you stay engaged in what the hatchery is doing for you, okay? So today we've talked about boosts, we've talked about the hatcheries, we've talked about miners a little bit, and what you kind of need to be able to get to this level. Listen, if you've got miners that you've had in here that you want to hatch or that you want to evolve, you can do that all with MQT now, all right? So you can be as simple as going on to buy an MQT on Sushi Swap. You go and you buy it, or you decide to buy the miners and you mint it, or you are mining the actual MQT. However it is that you acquire this asset, MQT. We are now starting to see MQT a lot more embedded in the ecosystem and things that we are able to purchase, like the miners, like the stuff in the store and all that great stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. For those of you that are sharing, all right, for those of you that are sharing, I do believe that if you go back into your back office, it does show your network again. This is something that we used to see in Get Fit Mining, and now it's in MoveQuest. I'm so excited that it's there, okay? It's an amazing thing, okay? Your links, I do believe, will also allow you to make a username, okay? I heard Waleed say this on the call. I think this was on Thursday's call, that you will be able to set up your username. And I think as a sharing community, as people that are out here, maybe the influencers and people like that, wouldn't you think that if Will Smith, right, just using him as an example, if Will Smith wanted to be a part of MoveQuest, we know he's a mover and a shaker. If he wanted to be a part of MoveQuest, wouldn't you think he wanted a link that says movequest.com/Will Smith or the Fresh Prince, right? I think that makes it a little bit more personable, all right? So my link has always been movequest.com/bankofgerald, right? Because that's me. But you can also use, for the activation code, my wallet address or my username, okay? And I do believe that that's something that's going to be, if not already added, that will be added, all right? For those that didn't know, if you want to be a seller, I'm gonna put this information in my Telegram group as well. So if you're not in my Telegram group, make sure you get in it, all right? A lot of good information goes in there. But if you want information about the call tonight, it's gonna be at 9 p.m., I believe, on MoveQuest.live, Zoom link, just like we usually are. This is gonna be a call to really explain what the sellers portion is gonna do for those of us that are willing to share MoveQuest and put it out there for the world to see, all right? There's some profit sharing that's involved. There's some ways to grow that you may be interested in, all right? And as a person that's qualified to talk about it, I'm gonna be on the call to make sure that I'm equipped for when I'm talking to my movers and shakers and my team members about what their opportunities are with this. But ladies and gentlemen, we're all about the growth here. And just so you guys know, okay, things that I like to see people opening their doc slots. If you think you wanna be a leader on my team, and I'm not saying that this is gonna be the same for everybody else, but for those that wanna be leaders on my team, okay, I'm not saying you gotta do everything that I'm doing per se, but let's open up our docking slots, all right? And let's get what MoveQuest is gonna give us for free. They're not always gonna give us these trailblazers for free for opening our dock slots. As a matter of fact, when leasing comes, there will be no giving away the miners for free, because we don't want the leasing to compete with that. We want leasing to take precedent, because that makes things compete with the community, okay? We want everything in the community to work together, all right? So with that being said, put your 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you, all your wallets, make sure that they have 2FA and all the security measures on them, because crypto is indeed the wild, wild west, y'all. And if you ain't strapped, you're bound to get hacked, all right? Ask me how I know. It is not very fun at all. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to be updated and notified about everything going on here at BOJ, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And please, sir, and please, ma'am, don't get scammed by the WhatsApp, man, because if you get you, nothing I can do to help you, all right? Stay diligent and vigilant in this space and in the comment section as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been maxing out, get these boosts. They will help you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a person out there that has been overachieving, get the limiter boosts, all right, so that you can earn even more for your efforts. And for those of us that need those rest days, make sure you go ahead and stock up on your rest day boost. You can only use 2 per week, all right? That sounds like a good amount of rest days. You're working 5 solid days in a week, you're getting your steps in. What those rest boosts are going to do is going to pull the best day from the last 3 days that you had, and it's going to apply it to your worst day. It's going to apply it to the rest day that you choose, okay? So let's use the tools they give us. They are amazing tools. They are continuing to help the ecosystem. And right now, as I'm looking at CoinMarketCap, I'm looking at a MQT price of $13.82. All right. I'll see y'all on the next one. This is MoveQuest, and it's your boy BOJ. Peace out.